guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's almost been 4 years. 4 years of me abandoning my YouTube channel. Oh my god, the last time we literally spoke on this YouTube channel is I announced my pregnancy and then I literally just disappeared. But so much things has happened in the last 4 years. I've decided to finally come back and give the girlies what they've been asking for. I feel like the best way to come back officially is to do an updated get to know me. Last time I did a get to know me video was 7 years ago, and I watched that video back. I just do not recognize that girl anymore. Like, I was 20 years old when I made that video and now I'm 27. Literally so shocked. Like, I cannot believe that. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here and you're an OG girl, welcome back. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for staying. Let the girls know we are officially back. We're not going anywhere again, okay? Before I start this video, make sure you are subscribed. Like this video if you haven't already. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I asked all the Instagram girlies to drop down any type of questions they have for me. A lot of you guys did ask some good questions. A lot of the questions were very repetitive. They're just like repeating the same questions over. I kind of just memorized it and I just put the questions that are similar to each other in one question. And there was so many questions about motherhood, so many questions about me, so many questions about school, so many questions about transitioning from one child to another. We're going to talk about all the good stuff on here. So before beginning answering all your amazing questions, let me just introduce myself to all the new girlies out there. Those of you that don't know, my name is Jasmine. I go as Jaztopaz on all my social media. Make sure you follow me on each one of them. I'm 27 years old. I have 2 amazing, beautiful boys. One is named Mahid, one is named Malik. I have been married for almost 8 years. 8 years and 2 weeks. I'm the oldest daughter and the oldest child out of all 6 kids. For my career, I am in ultrasound tech. And yeah, that's just basically a rundown of my life. I've been on social media for quite a while now. If you guys remember, the OG girls remember being a content creator, showing a part of my life to you guys, and I love it so much. I am dedicating 2025 to being a full-time content creator because honestly I have the potential to do it. I love my girls, I love my supporters, and they always push me to just become a full-time content creator. So this is why I finally came back on YouTube. I abandoned this amazing channel because I had so many gems on here and so many supporters, and I just abandoned you guys, and I really apologize for that. I'm so happy to be back, and I'm so happy to finally do an updated version of a get to know me because we have so many new people on here. So many people don't really know me, so I got a lot of questions and I'm trying so hard to answer each one. First question I got is, how's it like raising 2 sons while trying to find yourself and grow as a young mom? For those of you that don't know, I started having kids at the age of 20, very young mom. My second son at 23 years old. And being a young mom and trying to find your way in this life is very difficult. I'm not gonna sit here and try to glamorize it and tell you it's so easy. No, it's not. Sometimes you feel very lonely and nobody honestly understands the things that you're going through. I honestly just confide in the people who I feel like give the best advices to me and just genuinely want to see me grow and become the best version of myself and the best mom to my kids, which are my mom, my sisters, my closest friends, really my village, my supporters. Raising kids as such a young mom, honestly, I always say this, my older son, I basically grew up with this kid. He's about to be 7 years old in a few days. And I was 20 years old when I first had him. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what was going on. I was basically in fight or flight mode. This whole postpartum journey of being a first-time mom at the age of 20. Raising 2 kids at it was also honestly another culture shock. You go from 1 to 2 so fast. In my first year of being a mom, I did genuinely lose myself. I just so into motherhood and I just poured into motherhood that I forgot to pour into myself. And as soon as like the first year was over and we had like the first birthday party and everything, I actually made like a promise to myself, and I told myself like, this is the year I'm gonna dedicate myself to finding myself within this whole motherhood journey where I don't lose my identity, which means The mom guilt has to go. I need to enjoy my life. I'm still young. I still have time to travel the world. I still need to have time to where I go out with my friends. I still need some time to go out with my husband by myself and not just stuck at home being a mom. The way I view raising 2 kids and trying to balance my life is always having time just for myself. Whether it's going out with my friends, whether it's going out with my husband. Obviously, it's going to be very hard if you're a first-time mom and you're going through the mom guilt. It's going to be very hard the first time, but the more you do it and the more like pouring into yourself, I say it's the best thing I've ever done for myself, because all it did is make me a better mom. You cannot pour into your kids the way you need to pour into your kids if your mental is not good. A happy mom brings happy kids. Please do not lose your identity. If you're a new mom, do not lose your identity. Do not lose yourself in motherhood. Still remember the things that made you happy before you became a mom, because before you became a mom, you were you. Don't let that just flush. Obviously, there's a lot of things you're gonna have to change in your life. Do not lose your identity. Do not lose your happiness. Do not pour only into motherhood. Pour into yourself. So the next question is, how did you tell your parents you wanted to get married at a young age? The way I told my parents is like, my mom just basically asked me about if I was talking to a guy. The time I hanged out with him, I came home that day and I literally told her, and I told her what's up. And yeah, I wasn't really afraid to tell my mom, because me and my mom are like this close. The part that's the hardest is telling your dad, especially if you're like the oldest daughter, like the first child. Obviously it's kind of like brand new to the family, but I had my mom help me out and just basically talk to him, and then we convinced them to have like a first date with my husband, and they went out and they spoke and he liked them, and then boom, we got married. Honestly, it's all about rejection. You're just scared of the rejection. You're just scared of like how the reaction is. You genuinely love this person and you actually see like a life with them, and you genuinely want to get married to this person. Take the fear out your mind. Have a very grown conversation. Be like, this is a person that I've been speaking to. I'm very interested in this person. I'm coming to you to tell you respectfully because you're my parents, and just to show you that I'm very serious. He's willing to come meet the family, yada yada. So I would say just get the fear out your mind, have a very respectful conversation, make it very professional, because I don't know, Somali parents, like, you just got to show them like you're really serious. So that's my type of advice I would give to somebody who is seeking marriage, doesn't know how to like tell their parents. Another question I got is talk about marriage and advice for girls in their 20s. When I got married, honestly, there was nobody out there who kind of like gave a rundown of how marriage is. He was one of the first people in my whole friend group who got married. I've been married for almost 8 years now, and all I can say is marriage is literally work. You have to put the work for it to actually blossom. Both of you have to want it together. You both have to put the effort for it. I would say the first year is the hardest of marriage. It's understandable because you're both trying to like live with each other. You're both trying to grow with each other. You're both learning things about each other. There's a lot of miscommunication, and that's where communication falls in place. Communication is the best thing you could ever work on. Communication is the key in marriage. Patience is another thing. Having patience with each other is literally the key to marriage. There's a lot of things that probably piss you off. There's a lot of things that probably pisses them off. But patience, it comes from both sides. Your marriage is going to be very peaceful. Another advice I would give people is please, to all the young girls, do not, and I mean this with every way possible, keep your marriage very private. Do not go out there telling your friends everything about your marriage. Your friends probably don't think the way you do. Your marriage is your marriage. It's really just between you two. You can go to your friends and ask for advice, but do not take their advice like something very serious where it like changes your marriage. I do not recommend that whatsoever. Keep your marriage as private as you can from your friends, your family. It's literally between you two. Obviously, if you want to share the happy moments, go ahead and share the happy moments, but do not overshare. Oversharing is just going to bring so much problems into your marriage, because a lot of people can just like misguide you to do things. People may just give you the wrong advice where they may be coming from a good place, but at the same time it may not be working in your marriage. I'm a believer of making your own decisions between you and your husband, because at the end of the day, this is you guys' marriage. This is you guys' union. And I always say, if you really need advice in marriage, go to people who've been married for a very long time. Let me give the tea to all the new girls who are married out here. Do not get marriage advice to people who are not married. Do not get advice to people who've been married for less than 2 years. Get your advice from people who have been married for years. They've been in the game for so long that those are the people that are going to give you the best advice in marriage. They know how marriage is. They know the complications that come in marriage. They know the miscommunications that come in marriage. No shade, no hate, just don't get no advice from people who are not married. Another question I got is, what is your biggest ick? PS, love your content. Thank you, Pookie. My biggest ick, honestly, is when people rush me. It just annoys me. If you rush me, I don't care if you're my friend, I don't care if you're my family, I don't care if you're my husband, I don't care if you're my kids. As soon as I feel rushed, I just get so irritated and overstimulated that I'm just gonna like honestly just do whatever you need to do, because me, you're not gonna rush me, baby. No thanks. Another question I got is, how do you raise 2 kids while still in school? For those of you that don't know, I'm actually a stay-at-home mom, but I am still in school, and I always get this question of how do I raise kids and still be in school and still manage raising 2 kids. Kids are at a stage right now where they're not at home 24/7. One is actually already in school and the other is in early childhood. So my kids go to school about 8 a.m. and they come home at 3 p.m. So I always schedule like my classes around the times that they're not home. So my first class would always start like at 9 a.m. and then my last class would always end like around 2 p.m. That way I have some time when I come home to just rest a little bit before they come back from school. And when it comes to like doing all my schoolwork, I usually make sure to do all my schoolwork whenever they go to bed. Make sure I'm clocked into mom mode, which means doing homework, spending time with the kids, cooking dinner, being a wife at home. And then as soon as the kids are in bed, I do any schoolwork that I need to do, study for my tests, do my homework. I honestly believe like life is easier for me when balancing school and raising kids. It's just having a very strategic, organized day where we do not go off that routine. Honestly, if things do get out of routine, like let's say for example, if I have to stay late for school or some errands, my family does help me a lot. Like my sister and my mom always come through, or if my husband's at home, he always steps in as well. So it's just honestly having a very strategic routine that you do not go off of it, having that support system. So that's something that I'm very grateful for, that I have such a good support system that helps me. The best way I could say to a mom out there who's trying to probably go back to school but is scared about how to raise children and school, it's really just working around their schedule. Just work around their schedule, have a strict routine, make sure you have a good support system, and if you don't, just try to work around that routine. Another question is, how do you travel with children? Honestly, I'm not one of the moms out there who has a very hard time traveling with kids, because my kids are so good. I feel like my kids view like whenever we go on trips like a reward for them, and they literally be on their best behavior. But I genuinely, every time I have a trip for my kids, I let them do whatever they want. I always ask them, like when I'm planning their trips, like what do you want to do? Do you want to go to this place? Not that bad on airplane. I wouldn't say my kids are iPad kids. Like they just watch movies that sit on the iPad, or even like the little like TV that they have on like the seats in the airplane. Very into like their toys or like their little coloring books. So that's really what keeps them busy on like long plane rides. Boys, so they're like always just running around, keeping themselves busy with anything that's around. Like we go swimming, we go to the beach. I honestly don't really have a hard time with them when I travel, because my kids are at that age and really like do a lot of things by themselves, where I don't have to like do a lot of things for them. I would say traveling with infants is a bit harder. I'm not gonna lie, it is a bit harder. I have traveled with my kids when they were young. It has been very difficult at times because of like the diaper changing, times when they're just so irritated and they're just crying in the plane and you start getting overstimulated and stuff like that. For me, honestly, I just thug it out. I try my hardest to just like keep them entertained. Yeah, my kids have never really given me a hard time where I just be like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not traveling with them. I feel like they're just so good. Like, alhamdulillah, I have good kids who travel. Another question that I always get, I keep getting asked about, is do you plan on having more children? So here's the thing about that question. Obviously, I do want to have more children. Obviously, I want a baby girl. Right now, honestly, I'm not in the mental space to have more kids at a very young age. And my last child, I had him at 23 years old, and I'm just in this space of where I just want to live out the rest of my 20s and just travel as much as I can and just create more memories with my children that I have right now, and honestly just grow with my husband and travel around the world with my husband. So right now I'm kind of in that space where I don't want no more kids at this time, but I do plan in the future, inshallah, to probably try for one more time, and inshallah hopefully get a girl. But if it's another boy, I'm wrapping it up.
Yeah, immediately no. Immediately no. Immediately no. I'm telling you right now, I seen what I needed to see.
Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby.
No.
Right now, I'm just enjoying life right now, you guys. Like, I feel like I missed out so much of my early 20s, and now that I'm like pushing my late 20s, I want to just enjoy the rest of it and just like pour back into me. I love the age my kids are in right now. None of my kids wear diapers. None of my kids wake up in the middle of the night. I'm kind of enjoying that right now. After years of having no sleepless nights, after years of changing diapers, after years of tantrums, please, I just can't think of that right now. If it does happen anytime soon, I wouldn't be mad at it. My kids are older right now, and they're all in school, so I really would have a hard time if I did have a kid right now, but I'm just not planning to. But you really never know. We plan, but Allah plans, right? Another question that I always get a lot, and I realize like it's from like my new followers: how old were you when you got married? I got married when I was 19, and I had my first son at 20 years old. So another question I always get is, would you redo your wedding? 100%. You hear me? I have so many ideas that I wish I could go back and change. I do plan, inshallah, my 10-year anniversary to have like a little, like, I guess people call it like vow renewal, but that's not really what I'm trying to do. Over the years, I've bonded with so many new people. I've had so many new friendships that really mean the most to me right now, and I always say like, I wish I knew you whenever I was getting married so I could make you a bridesmaid. I just want to relive the beautiful moment with the new people in my life and just do a very intimate like anniversary party, celebrate that accomplishment. So that's kind of a way I would say I would redo like my wedding. It's much more intimate, more ideas and stuff like that. Another question I got is, what motivates you to keep going on social media, and how do you balance social media with motherhood? When coming into social media and how I balance being a full-time content creator and motherhood, it's honestly the same thing as when I go to school and my kids are at school, and like how I just work around their schedule. So for example, if I don't have school that day and my kids are like at school or whatever, I basically just film all my contents that day, and then I edit whenever they go to sleep. So it's like basically the same routine. And if they're home that day and I do need to create content because I need to produce content, my husband's either at home, so he'll be watching the kids. Just like today, my kids and my husband are home. I don't know if you can hear them. So they're downstairs and I'm just upstairs in my beauty room. That's basically the way I balance motherhood and being a content creator. Sometimes I do include them in content, but not too much because I don't want to expose my kids that much on social media. That's how I balance like motherhood and content creating. The question that I got is, do you take your Instagram posts with a camera or a phone camera? So sometimes I do take pictures with my phone. I have the iPhone 13 and the camera is very good. I usually sometimes use a Canon G7X. Majority of the time I do see myself grabbing the Canon G7X and taking pictures with it because honestly that camera is just 10 out of 10, and the pictures I get off of them is so pretty. Sometimes I'll try out the iPhone camera and then sometimes I won't like it, so then I'll grab the Canon G7X and I'll take with the Canon G7X and I like it more. So I just switch off at times, but I do use all of my TikTok videos with my iPhone. My YouTube videos, I use the Canon G7X, which is what I'm using right now. I use that for vlogging and YouTube content and sometimes taking pictures, especially on vacation. Canon G7X is always my go-to when I go on vacation. It really just depends on the mood that I'm in. Okay, another question I got is, what's your favorite thing to do to make you feel girly and feminine besides doing your makeup? Oh my god, this is such a good question. I always find myself like, if I just want some me time, other than makeup, I'd honestly say skincare. I love a skincare. Like, I love a good Korean skincare. I love trying out new skincare products. I just feel so girly and so cute. The thing I would probably say is going out to dinner with my girls and just pretending like we're on an episode of a reality show. Some food and chit-chatting and basically catching up. So yeah, those are the type of things that I would consider like girly. Going to a coffee shop and just taking taking like pictures and just like, you know, feeling yourself, do things to do whenever I just feel like I need some like girl moment. How did you know your husband was the right person for you, especially since y'all were so young? I could answer that honestly is like, I seen like how he is with his deen. All of my young girls out there, do not be with a man who doesn't fear Allah. That's the best advice I can give to you guys. Always look for a man that fears Allah, because a man that fears Allah is not gonna hurt you. I feel like that was one of the major signs. Like I just seen how he was so good with his deen, as well as like also like how he was just so like down to like just meet my parents right away. Like I don't know, that just gave him like brownie points for me. Just like the way he carried himself just ticked out my boxes. I could literally go all day long and tell you guys, but those are like the major things that really just like caught my eye, and I was just like, okay, he's the one. Another person asked, how tall are you? Babe, I am 5'1", and a good day I am 5'2". Every time I meet new people, they always tell me, what in the world? I did not know you were this tiny. And I never understand, like, do I look tall on social media? Because I genuinely do not be trying to catfish my height. I just be so shocked. Like I'll be thinking like, oh, okay, like yeah, that's like the first thing everybody always tells me. Like when I meet new people, I did not know you were this tiny. So I answered a majority of everybody's questions. Try to like include all the questions in one criteria. So I really hope I answered majority of the questions that you guys wanted to know. I cannot believe it's been 7 years since I literally filmed a Get to Know Me. Like that has been such a long time. Honestly, I'm so happy with the woman I have become. Look back at her and I'm just like, wow, you do not understand how much your life is gonna change. My family grew, alhamdulillah. My love has grown. Just loving the person I am right now. Love with the growth that I have become all these years, and I'm so happy that I get to share with you guys, because you guys are literally a part of my life. Being on social media and showing you guys a part of my life is honestly one of the greater things I love to do for you guys. And being such a young mom and sharing those tips with my young moms out there and connecting with so many people out there. Like I honestly love what social media has given to my life. I love the support that you guys pour into me. I love the fact that you guys push me back on YouTube, and the support honestly does not go unnoticed. If you guys have any more questions that you guys want me to answer, please feel free to message me on Instagram, TikTok, any of my socials. Please comment down below. I am down to answer any of you guys' questions. If you guys have not followed me on any of my socials, please do so. Everything is Jaztopaz, and stay updated with my life. I loved everything about creating this video for you guys. You guys generally make me so happy. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys have subscribed to my YouTube channel if you haven't. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. Bye.